Have you ever wondered, how the heck can I get my kids to listen without me having to yell? If yes, stay tuned because in this video, which is the first of a 4-part series, I'm going to teach you how to start doing exactly that by shifting one thing first, your paradigm. Now, I know that might sound a little abstract, but stick with me because if you're like most of the students and families I work with, you're probably here because you're tired. You're freaking tired of yelling. You're tired of power struggles. You're tired of feeling like nothing is working, especially if you have a strong-willed kid. You're ready for something different. And that begins with changing how we see misbehavior in the first place. So let's talk about the old paradigm that most of us were raised with. But first, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any of the free, powerful parenting education we provide on this channel. Okay, back to the old school paradigm most of us were raised with. Kids misbehaving equals bad kids, and bad kids equals bad parents, which equals parents thinking they must control it immediately. If not, duh, you're failing. And what were the go-to tools? Yelling, punishment, threats, spanking, shame. What's wrong with you? Most of us were raised in what we call autocratic households. That means there was parenting that's high on control, low on connection. It's often also based in fear and force. And while it may get immediate compliance sometimes, it tends to damage relationships and doesn't teach long-term self-control or problem solving. On the flip side, these days, we're seeing so much permissive parenting. Lots of love and empathy, maybe, but very little structure or limit setting. And that doesn't work either. It leaves kids feeling insecure and unsure about boundaries, like they're walking on wobbly ground or have parents that don't care. Here at Fresh Start Family, both inside of our educational programs and on our podcast, the Fresh Start Family Show, we teach the middle ground between too firm and too kind. Powerful parenting that's both firm and kind. Rooted in relationship, built on respect, backed by science, research, and data, and overflowing with grace. So let's go even deeper. I want to share something foundational that comes from Dr. Rudolf Dreigers, who was a brilliant mid-century renowned psychologist and one of the pioneers of positive parenting. He taught that all human beings, including our kids, have essential needs, like the need to belong, the need to feel powerful in a healthy, respectful way, the need to feel valuable, and the need to feel unconditionally loved. Now think about this. When kids act out, whether it's whining or back-talking or hitting their sibling or flat out ignoring you, they're not trying to make your life miserable. I know. It sure seems like they are sometimes, but they're actually trying to get one or more of those needs met, and they're just trying to figure out how to do this thing called life. Aren't we all? They just don't know how to get all their needs met in a healthy and appropriate way yet. This is why we say misbehavior is not always just rebellion. Sometimes it is, but it's actually usually just communication. It's a signal. It's a cry. It's a need that's unmet. It's a request for help. And when we meet misbehavior with curiosity instead of control, something beautiful happens. We start to see our kids differently. We stop asking, how do I make them stop? And start asking, what is this misbehavior telling me? What's the root cause of this challenge that my kiddo is having? Now let's talk about what's going on for you, the parent. Why does misbehavior trigger us so deeply? It's not just about the spilled milk or the sass. It's about your body interpreting it as danger. Because you were trained for decades to believe that misbehavior equals failure or danger or both. Think about it. What happened growing up to you if you made a mistake? If you hit your sister or you were caught lying or you missed the school bus or spilled your milk? You got reamed. Shame, humiliation, intimidation. For many of us, there was pain too. Messages of what's wrong with you or now I have to hurt you, whether it was physically or emotionally, to teach you a lesson were baked into our upbringing. The mistaken belief that in order to make a child behave better, you must first make them feel worse was the standard, if we're being honest. So your nervous system now goes into fight or flight the moment your child pushes back. That's why we yell. That's why we throw out punishments we don't even mean or end up following through on. That's why we threaten and react in ways that don't really feel like us when we lay our head on our pillow at night. It's not a discipline problem. It's a regulation problem. So let's break that down for a minute. When your child rolls their eyes or refuses to eat their veggies, your logical brain might know it's not that big of a deal, but your body, Your body is reacting like a bear just walked into the room. Your heart races. You get tunnel vision. Your breath shortens. That's your nervous system responding to a perceived threat. But here's the truth I want you to walk away with today. You are not broken, and you are not a bad parent. It's not your fault. You just have a nervous system that was conditioned to see misbehavior and imperfection as dangerous. And now you get to rewire. Here's the new paradigm we step into here at Fresh Start Family. Misbehavior equals communication. Kids often learn through failure, which is just unfinished success. Connection teaches more than correction, and our job as parents is not to control, it's to teach. And we can't teach when we are dysregulated ourselves. So after changing your paradigm, the next step to get kids to listen without yelling is this. I want you to signal safety to your body. Let your nervous system know it's safe to be an imperfect parent raising imperfect human souls. Now, this takes practice. I like to call this resensitizing your awareness to your options. When you're regulated, you see options. You breathe. You slow down. You respond instead of react. You act with intention and true power, and your kids feel that shift. When we model emotional regulation, we teach emotional regulation. Because let's be real, 99% of what kids learn is caught, not taught. So let's pause and reflect for a moment. When was the last time you felt like yelling was the only option and you knee-jerk reacted like a volcano? How might your responses have looked different if you felt calm, grounded, and safe in your body first? Let's try something together right now. I want you to put your feet flat on the ground if you can. Take a deep breath slowly in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Drop your shoulders and feel your feet and say to yourself, I am safe. My child is not my enemy. We're learning together. That simple shift, it's where all the magic begins. And by the way, let me bust a myth why we are here together. Positive parenting is not permissive parenting. It's not letting kids run the show. It's not being soft or avoiding discipline. It's not ignoring problems or trying to be your child's best friend. Positive parenting is about a few different, very important things. Teaching instead of punishing, connecting before correcting, setting firm limits with compassion and consistency, building skills, not just stopping behavior, leading with strength, integrity, and unconditional love. It's the opposite of chaos and the opposite of harsh control. It's the powerful, respectful middle ground, and it works. Inside of our Fresh Start educational programs and also inside of our podcast, the Fresh Start Family Show, we walk families through this process step by step. We help parents just like you learn how to set strong limits with kids and actually follow through without threats or yelling. We teach you how to use empathy when your kid pushes back so you can hold firm boundaries with kindness instead of intimidation tactics like yelling. Trust me, it takes one to know one. It took me 8 years to stop yelling. So there is never judgment here at Fresh Start Family. And we give you an entire discipline toolkit rooted in connection and long-term growth instead of short-term compliance. Hallelujah. In the next video in this series, we're going to go deeper into how to actually self-regulate in the heat of the moment when you're super triggered. I'll also share simple phrases that help you stop yelling and start encouraging true cooperation. Here's a little sneak peek. One of my favorite go-to phrases, it starts with just 2 words. I need. Don't worry, I'll tell you more in the next video. So if you're ready to stop yelling and start shifting the culture in your home, it starts right here. Not with a script or a timeout trick, but with your own self-awareness. This is the foundational step that changes everything. So here are your next steps. I want you to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video in this 4-part series. Grab my free Quick Start Learning Bundle that comes with a full free 1-hour interactive workshop with me where you can ask questions. It's linked below. And leave me a comment. I'd love to get to know you. What part of this message has landed most for you today? You are not alone and you're not failing. You are doing the holy, hard, beautiful work of raising human souls. And I'm so happy that you're here. Let's keep walking this path together. I'll see you in the next video.